Happy Magic Monday, Collective Consciousness. This is Virgo Queen, your transformation coach, using the tools of astrology, tarot, sound healing, and ritual, connecting my clients back to their magic. And this weekly cosmic forecast is for the collective consciousness from November 19th to November 25th, 2018. As you know, I love to follow the moon cycles, for the moon is how we perceive and experience our life. It is the lens in which we see through. So if we are in emotional turmoil or happy and full of life, that is the lens in which we will experience our moods and creative flow. And then I like to call in the goddess that will help guide us for the week with a little tarot reading to look at the energy flow. And this is all for connecting to our cosmic and most ancient selves, when we know how to interact with the collective conscious field and honor our own cycles. So let's begin. We start off this Magic Monday in an Aries moon, and it will be in Aries until Tuesday. When Tuesday we move into a Taurus moon until Thursday, and by Thursday we'll move into Gemini for the big Gemini full moon this weekend on Friday the 23rd for some, or Friday the 20th, or Thursday the 22nd, the full moon in Gemini, when the sun turns to Sagittarius. And by the end of the weekend, we will end with a Cancer moon. So, dear ones, to begin the week with an Aries moon, we will have a courageous heart, instincts, and insight to move forward, things that we discovered on this Sunday. Aries is the beginning of the zodiac and the archetype of the hero. And how are you leading and living your own life? Often we are not even the leaders of the heroes of our own story, and this is where we pray victim to or become the servant. So this first few days of the week is really about staying very connected to your instincts, to your intuition, and listening, and being very singularly focused with your energy. So if you have projects that you need to get completed before the full moon in Gemini and Thursday, we need to have clear insight on how to move forward. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be a time of Taurus moon, which is about doing hard work. Or you may be feeling some moments of laziness. It is winter is coming. We're wanting to be snuggling and to take more times for rest and self-care. Taurus is connected more to the body and is ruled by Venus, and really looking at how do we do self-care, self-love, self-acceptance. So sometimes we need to go into retreat after working hard all day. So make sure to balance both work and play, dear Taurus. And so for this full moon in Gemini, we have quite a lot of different aspects going on. Not only did Venus finally go direct last week, but Mercury, the very next day, goes into retrograde. And so this is a time to rethink, redo, relearn, and not really moving forward on things, but really looking at how you can perfect the things in which you already have. And full moons are always about completion, gaining new vision and insights, and also a powerful time for healing and for learning about the habits, the beliefs that keep you prisoner to your own undoing. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so Mercury's in retrograde, so we have a chance to kind of look at old trauma, old pain that comes up from keeping us perhaps being more fully alive and more loving in our daily thinking. So Gemini is really looking at also the duality, the both shadow and the light. What is opposite of me is something I must unite. And this is a huge lesson, a karmic patterning that we are moving out of and into something new. And so that's why we have to look at the old stories, the old memories, in order to find a pattern that is more in connection to how we truly want to live our life. Now, by the weekend, after that potent full moon energy, we will have Cancer. So it'll be again back to self-care, back to self-love. So we can heal the mind, but let it bring it back down into the emotional body, back into our moon energy, and start seeing through a lens of self-love. Now, the goddess that will help guide us this week is Coventina. Now, I have not ever pulled this card before, and as you know, I pull cards every week, and she is new to me, and so therefore new to you. And her message to us is purification. It's time for a cleansing, detoxification of your body and mind. So here's another thing about Mercury, is that it's how we channel, how we listen to the messages of the divine, listen to the messages of the cosmos and of our higher self. And if we're not listening, the physical body is. And the physical body will show us what ailments are being stuck in our energy body. So if we're having old ancestral patternings that you are repeating the same disease as which your ancestors did, we need to look deeper. We need to look at the root cause. And this is where medicine, how things have changed throughout the years, and how we used to look at the human body not just as a physical entity, but all of its realms in which it exists. And so what is going on in the mind is also reflected in the emotions. So this is why when we look for the full moon in Gemini, we're really looking at what needs to be cleansed, what needs to be detoxified. And I want you to pay attention to the things that you eat and what you actually feed your body with. And I also want you to pay attention to the things that you read, the things that you listen to. Are you listening to sad, melancholy, angry music? This is going into your cellular DNA. If you are choosing to use melancholy to express yourself, then this is where the pattern keeps getting reawakened, when you're constantly triggering it by that which you feel comfortable with. Sometimes, for example, I used to listen to sad music all the time because it's like, oh, I finally feel happy, someone gets me, they meet my sadness. But what I didn't realize what I was doing is I was integrating that pattern over and over and over again, where I always was looking through the lens of betrayal, looking through the lens of rejection. And I started to use sound healing frequencies to kind of change those patterns and to literally change my vibration. There's so much about the new age and the paradigm and all these different techniques out there, and they talk about how to change your vibration. They say to do it mentally. Well, thoughts aren't even in the same realm as us. We are in the third dimension, and thoughts live in the fourth dimension, and they're only attracted to our patterns because this is how they're programmed. So if we literally reprogram our energetic field, then we no longer have those patterns. Yes, it takes time, it takes focus, and it takes making different choices. And this is really what the new paradigm in which we need to be more responsible for our choices. Now, so the different ways that you can work with this during the week is to have some journaling practices, to release, just like write a letter to the people that you may be angry about. Write a letter to yourself of all the things that you regret or are mad about. And then you're going to slowly realize, wow, I can actually change that. Change not in you go back to the past, but you're like, well, I can make different choices now. And so then you write a new letter. Where like, this is the new life that I want to cultivate. And here I am. How can I make a new change today? Instead of going and listening to the same music or watching the same news or, reading the same material that shows that the world is going to collapse or watching scary movies, watch things that are inspiring, that fills your heart. Go back to the childness in you so you can be curious once again. So the tarot reading for the week, the overall energy for the week is reverse 5 of Wands. And so this is showing that there's a lot of conflict going on between the past self, the present self, and the future self. And so it's like, okay, I'm aware of the past. All right, I know that I've succeeded in some places, and I know that I'm starting, this new sense of self, which I haven't quite yet embodied because, well, things take time and things need, seasons in which to grow. And how can I be compassionate about myself? But it's really kind of this inner struggle with, our dreams versus our reality. And often Gemini can get very frustrated because they have such an incredible mental capacity. And so they can see the visions, they can know the truth, yet it takes time and integration for them to come true. So the conflict of the week and also letting go is 3 of Swords. And 3 of Swords is all about conflict of the self. And again, this past, present, future self. And so it's learning compassion again. It's learning self-acceptance to where you are in life. And, we all have been very awakened to the fact that we are in this doing consciousness right now, that we have to do. And the planet is suffering because of our doing, that we're constantly consuming instead of simply being. And it's this mindset of scarcity that we need to do more in order to receive some. And this is all going to change soon enough. But to be mindful in the process of when you're feeling needy and desperate and greedy, how can you just fill yourself with what you have around you? I know bills are coming up. I know things are due in the future. And that there's something that you need to do, but trust that, the bill would be paid. Yeah, okay. The savings account or the monthly income isn't what you expected, but it will. And there's a sense of faith that is coming it's all inside of you, and it's mostly the disconnection between what's inside and what's out in the reality that causes the most suffering. So when we look more at our sources of and resources of abundance, meaning we have community, tribe, people that love us, and it's time to thrive. For the outcome for the week is the Hanged One. Not only is it the Hanged One, but it is reversed. And this is all about a karmic cleansing. I really feel like this full moon is letting go of a lot of ancestral wounds that no longer serve us. Your line, our collective line, and that we're learning how to embody more of this feeling of heaven on earth. But first, we need to let go of the things that we didn't know we could change. So this full moon is really about a time of forgiveness of the past, forgiveness of now, forgiveness of the things you've done, what other people have done, what society has done, the government has done. Please just forgive and choose a different path. For if we keep trying to battle, and have power over something, our whole view of power is changing. That when we look at the power that's from within us, instead of trying to push our power onto people, we stand in our power by being who we are, by fulfilling every single cell of your entire being with your energy, with the energy of Gaia. Gaia is our mother, and she is being destroyed by her children, and she is asking us to love her again. She's asking us to love ourselves again, and this is what this karmic balancing is about. Now, the daily magic that will help us get through all these quarrels and mindsets is from my unicorn deck, and unicorn has spoke to us to say celebration. A positive outcome is assured. Celebrate your success. Enjoy your achievements. So when we move into forgiveness and gratitude, these are the biggest, that and love are the biggest remedies that this world needs. So first, start with the self. Where in places do you need to forgive yourself? Where are your regrets? Where are you punishing yourself? And surrender to something deeper, knowing that it's part of your cycle. It's part of your evolution. You chose this. So embody it, nurture it, and let it go in the places where it no longer serves you. And I know letting go is a big, dramatic, vague concept, but letting go, just literally writing it down, looking at this forgiveness and setting it on fire and giving it back to spirit, giving it back to the mystery of the gods, that it's a declaration of you acknowledge. By writing it down, setting it on fire, you say to the gods, I accept. And then you go into gratitude. You make a list of all the things that you are grateful for, and you start awakening to the fact of, wow, look at all what I've created. Look at how I am vibrant, happy, and alive, and I am abundant and resourceful. You know when I feel the richest? When I know that I've held space for someone to feel more loved in their life. In my consultations, and just showing up for someone to go meet for, a cup of tea, and listening to them and listening to the struggle that they're in, and say, you know what? Thank you for doing that work. Thank you for struggling. Thank you. And know that this is all for a reason, because Gaia is asking us to be more resourceful and to find our strength, and often this is how we find it. And I want you to find more love for yourself, more love for how you can share your light and your gifts. And the more love that you have, the more love you will receive, and the more love you want to give. It's this beautiful cycle of the universal truth. So, dear ones, this is a brave time. This is the last little section of this retrograde cycle, and then December, so many things are shifting and changing. We're going to have a sense of hope. So if you're going through a hard time right now, if you feel that you're suffering or in pain, know that it's part of a bigger picture. And if you want to know your bigger picture, I am here to help guide you, to lead you through this transformation. You can take a look at my website at www.inner-stories.com or email me at innerdories@gmail.com. And this is a chance to thrive, dear ones. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for doing this work by just having the self-awareness that there is something bigger. And here we are transforming with the cosmos on a daily, hourly, minute-by-minute basis. So thank you again for tuning in. And until next time, be brave, dear hearts, for we enter a time of great transformation. And just know that I am a message away. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be.